For several days now, the whole world has been spectating the unexpected tension between Beijing and Tokyo. The Japanese Prime Minister has spoken about potential military aid to Taiwan. The Chinese Coast Guard has sailed through areas administered by Japan, and military drones have crossed the borders of islands controlled by Tokyo. The latest episode of the crisis erupted on November 7th, when Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi informed Parliament that a hypothetical Chinese attack on Taiwan could trigger a military response from Tokyo. This statement provoked an allergic reaction from Beijing. The Japanese ambassador was summoned to the Chinese Foreign Ministry on an urgent basis. Anyone who dares to interfere in any way with the process of China's reunification will certainly face a severe response. To recap, China considers Taiwan to be its territory and does not rule out the use of force to take control of the island, which is only 110 kilometers from Japanese territory. The Taiwanese government rejects Beijing's claims. In a show of force, Chinese Coast Guard ships sailed near the Japanese-controlled Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea. Such actions by Chinese Coast Guard ships violate international law. We have lodged a strong protest through diplomatic channels and strongly urged them to leave Japanese territorial waters immediately. The dispute with China over Taiwan, which has been escalating for many years and has intensified in recent days, has prompted Beijing to call on its citizens to stay away from Japan. This information was reported by all national newspapers. According to Chinese authorities, Japan bears full responsibility for this crisis. Recently, provocative statements by Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on issues related to Taiwan have seriously undermined the political foundation of Sino-Japanese relations and worsened public sentiment between the two countries. The government in Tokyo sent a special envoy to Beijing today to defuse the conflict. Diplomat Masai Kanai will explain that Prime Minister Takaichi's comments do not signal a change in Japanese security policy. Taiwan, the main protagonist in the turmoil, has joined the dispute. These inappropriate actions by Chinese diplomats will only damage their own country's image. I advise China to observe the principle of mutual respect and strive to maintain good relations with other countries, including Taiwan, within the international community. Growing tensions around the world are posing serious challenges to the West in terms of digital security. Submarine cables, through which almost all global data traffic flows, are becoming increasingly important, and the security liability they pose to Western countries is becoming real. Irish businessman Declan Ganley, founder of Rivada Space Networks, is working on an alternative satellite network that could secure communications in the event of a failure or attack.
Up to the satellite, and the satellite then looks to offload that traffic onto the closest ground gateway. So it's looking back to Earth to find the closest ground gateway to the satellite, and then it sends your traffic onto the internet.
Currently, all global networks are, in practice, a combination of many smaller systems. The Outernet will be the first global, secure, and fully independent network. If President Trump wants to send a message to Beijing, he should jump on board this project, which would give Japan and allies permanent connectivity, no matter what China does to isolate its next victim. Taiwan lies just over 110 kilometers from Japan's westernmost islands, and close to key sea lanes used by Tokyo for oil and gas supplies. Japan is also home to the largest concentration of U.S. military forces outside the United States. Therefore, a dangerous situation in this location could be the spark for a global conflict.